Might as well just leave it there.
I'm not going to mess with anything. All right, we have went live.
Alrighty.
All right. So we have Shady Hill Homestead. Hi. Magic Acres, of course. Angels Homestead. Hello. Thank you. So today's topic is canning kitchen basics. Setup and
Did you
equipment.
hit? So you're not live yet.
It says I'm
You have to
live.
click. No, you have to click on. It says live in 8, 7, 6. I think you have to click. Start
I got to
stream.
count. I did. I got to count down. It's now.
Oh, okay. I'm getting an ad. All right, skip that. There you are. Okay, we're on.
See me. Yeah. You were just delayed. So today we're talking about our canning kitchen basics, setup, and equipment. I was going to show you my canning kitchen out at the property, but I have no internet. 1 bar. So that was not enough. So I went for a little drive.
We're not going to say where. But if you hear sirens, it's a clue. Just kidding.
It's quiet.
Yeah, very quiet.
None of the neighbors talk.
Dead quiet.
Oh.
I'll see if my buddy Richard pops on because I sent him the link to for the show. He might. He didn't respond, but he usually does. Are you doing this to your Facebook channel too, or no?
No, I'm just YouTube tonight because I wasn't sure how it would go being out at the property, and I didn't want to have to start it back up or something if I had to, get out and start over again. So, no, it's just us. So, but my live streams on Facebook have been getting 173% more views than normal. So
that's good.
Nice. Yeah, considering I haven't done any in a month.
Well, we'll get that fixed up here soon.
But anyway, you have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to let you go through the PowerPoint with us.
Yeah, so we just made that. This is just all the basic, just basic canning startup things you might need, want, whatever. So you got your kitchen. Of course, that's a commercial kitchen. That's my dream kitchen, but none of us really have that yet. I'm working on mine, but it'll be a few years still. So we got, what kind of canners you're going to use? You want a water bath, pressure. You got the stainless pot, and you can use any kind of stainless pot. It helps if you have a lid and a lifter. Well, you need the lid, but it helps if you have a lifter to lift all your jars out. Or if you have a spacer on the bottom of the pot, you just use the regular jar handle lifter out the tools. Then you got the big bulk water bath canner, which Tammy, I think, has one or wants one or loves it.
I want one of those Amish, the square ones where you can water bath. Yeah, I want one of those. I do not have one yet. It's on my dream list. I don't have a steam canner either. A steamer.
Then you got your 2 types of pressure canners. They're basically the same. The All American has no gasket, and the Presto style. Yep, I got 4 of them, and the Presto style has a gasket. And you just got to take care of the rubber gasket, make sure it seals. You'll know if it's not sealing when you start to heat it up and steam is shooting out sideways. That's a whole nother topic for Tammy to go over at some point. Man, it really doesn't. I mean, if you're gonna just water bath stuff, that's fine. If you're gonna pressure can, Presto style canners are much cheaper than the All Americans, but the All Americans. Hey, Uncle Richard's here. What's up, Uncle Richard?
Yeah. Angel says she's down a pressure canner. She loaned it to a friend and blew its top. Yikes! Get it all back and maybe.
Yeah, sounds like your friend needs some training on how to use it, and not just, can I borrow your pressure canner?
Yeah. That's hard to do.
Yeah, the All American, never need a gasket. Just keep the seals, just keep the mating surfaces nice and clean and free of chips and nicks and dents. And yeah, you could run into the apocalypse with one of those. The Presto style, keep some extra gaskets on hand. Make sure you keep them in a cool, dry place, because if you leave them out in a hot area, they're going to dry up and crack, and they'll be worthless when you go to need it. Most of them are the same. How many different sizes are there for the standard? There's like 2 or 3 sizes. There's like one common one, and there's like one or two other slightly odd ones, which you can still get at like Ace Hardware and stuff, right?
Yeah, and I think it's 23 quart is the standard size, which will do 9 quart jars.
Right. Yeah, no, the gasket size. I mean, there's like 3 different gaskets. One of them is like the most common one, and there's like 2 random ones for other off-brand canners that, you know, they make their own gaskets, so you have to buy theirs. Presto's the standard. So, warp the top and bottom. Oh, she ran it out of water. That's not good.
Oh no.
That's never really a good thing.
Good. Yeah.
All right. And what are you going to cook it on? I got Tammy's favorite stove on the right there.
Yes.
So do you have electric? Tammy, what kind of what's the difference on burn? I don't do electric. I hate electric. There's some kind of a special burner or something if you're doing electric canning?
So if you have an electric stove, you need a D-ring electric element on your stove. You can't use the standard. I mean, you can use a standard element, but it will snap off. You need a D, and it's the way it's shaped as it comes out where it plugs in. It holds more weight. I cannot mute Sawyer, so you're going to. Okay. So yeah, you want one that can hold more weight. So.
I did not put flat top stoves on here. The glass top, the old glass top stoves, we're talking like 10, 12 years and before, you could pressure can on those. The new glass top stoves have a built-in thermostat. It'll only let it get up to a certain temperature, and it shuts the heat off. You see it pulsing on and off. You'll be lucky if you can get your pressure canner to come up to pressure. And so glass top stoves are not recommended anymore. They used to be okay, but it's electric, and I don't do electric.
They still did not. They weren't rated for the amount of weight you would put on. So you really needed to use a very small canner or a very small water bather, not the great big ones. And so it really wasn't. I had one. I used it. I just prefer the gas if I can, or my home comfort wood stove. Yeah.
We love gas. We had electric in our last house. We hated it. We dealt with it because that's all we had. And but now I got gas here, so nope. Got a gas 4-burner. The other one, if you're going to do it outdoors, which is recommended, you got the Camp Chef style 2-burner. You can get a 3-burner. Do not use the single burner turkey fry. I didn't put the turkey fryer picture on there because those things are a blowtorch. They're meant to get stuff really hot, really fast. And if you put a canner on there, you will destroy it in no time. You can't really regulate the heat much on those. I have one. I hate it.
Yeah, they've tried to tell me that I'm wrong with that, just so you know. But
who's telling you you're wrong?
Companies. If you have one of those, though, you really need to take it to your propane gas company, and they will put a reducer on it so that you can use it and keep the BTUs below 3,500.
Right.
Just an FYI. Some of them go up to like 7,200. Like you do not double. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I have melted cast aluminum in a campfire, so I would not use a turkey fryer.
No. I mean, you can get the single burner Camp Chef style stove with the 15,000 BTU burner, or maybe a 20, but you can turn it down and regulate that. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to bring your canner up to temperature so fast that you get siphoning and jar breakage and all those problems. And that's for outside. Don't do it inside. And then you have
it's not worth it.
Yeah. Then you have your wood stove, your in-house off-grid wood stove, which is Tammy's pride and joy.
Yeah.
If she can find a piece that fits it for the vent
I have been told that I can bend one. So I am on a hunt for such a piece that I can bend. So
Just need some stainless sheet metal.
no, they said I can take the regular stovepipe and bend it.
Oh, like square it from round or just change the
Yes.
shape a little bit? Oh,
Yes.
cool.
So I just need a little rubber mallet and get the
Yeah,
whole rest of it ready to go, and then I can meld that full piece in.
Cool. Make your own adapter.
Mm-hmm.
So wood stoves are great. I'm not versed on canning on a wood stove. I think Tammy is, and also campfires. I've never canned on a campfire. If I have to, I'll figure it out, but I've never done it and don't think I need a plan to do it.
I prefer to water bath over a campfire. So I like, if I'm going camping, like today, I foraged and I picked 4 cups of black raspberries. And so I always do. My kid is going to drive me crazy.
And Tammy's angry.
Anyway, I lost my thought. Oh, I prefer to water bath. Today, I start back at the beginning of the story.
You
I
black
picked
raspberries.
4 cups of black raspberries. They're sitting in 2 cups of sugar and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm going to make them into black raspberry jam tomorrow. I could very easily do that over a campfire. So.
Yeah, you don't need a big pot if you're only doing, and you can water bath. I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's like, I'm going to water bath. They all run to the hardware store, Walmart, and they have to buy that granite ware looking pot with all the tools. No, you can water bath in a Revere pot if it's deep enough to put an inch or so of water above it.
I use my spaghetti pot for most of my little things. Like, this is a small batch, so I'm just going to use my spaghetti pot. I'm going to cook it down. It's not even a pectin recipe. I just cook it down until it is thick, and then I put it in jars, and then I water bath it for 5 to 10 minutes and pull them out to seal. I need my spaghetti pot and a jar lifter. That's it.
Yep.
And a towel to set them on. And if I'm out camping, I don't even need the towel because I just set them out on the ground.
Do you put something on the bottom of your pot so the glass jars aren't directly on the metal?
If I'm using a spaghetti pot, I'll just put a dish towel down. Hold a dish towel.
Okay.
Ooh, Dave Knight is doing a peck of pickles tomorrow.
Did Peter pick them?
Oh. Hopefully, when I go to the farmer's market on Thursday, I have money for the farmer's market. And Thursday, I am excited to see what they have because I will be doing some canning then this weekend.
Yeah, my one farm dude is starting to bring stuff in. I'm not going to be able to do much of anything this weekend, the following weekend, hopefully, but I got to go out to the cabin and get stuff done. So, week after that, yep, I'm sure there'll be a whole lot more in stock. Peaches are starting to come in. The Freestones are coming in. They will be coming in soon here because I'll be freeze-drying the heck out of those.
I saw a recipe for peach oxymol, and I am going to make it. Is peaches. It's sort of pickled peaches, but not. It's a little stronger, and it's a drink, but it's like peaches, vinegar, honey, and like a shrub. It's a drink.
Cool.
But because it has all the health properties, it's called an oxymel. Anything that you're preserving with a high count of vinegar and honey is an oxymel. So you can do herbs. This just happens to be a fruit oxymel. And you get all the health benefits of the peach.
Well, I just learned that certain parts of the world, they make oregano tea because I just gave a whole bunch of fresh oregano to one of my wife's friends at the hospital, and she makes tea out of it. And Tammy's half frozen.
They found that oregano. Oh, sorry. Better?
That's better.
Can you hear me now?
Sort of. I can hear you.
Okay.
You're in a little half freezing mode, but that's all right.
They have found that oregano has a lot of healing properties, and oregano oil where you just take the fresh oregano and put it in high quality olive oil,
Right.
is be really, really healthy for you too. Has a lot of health benefits. Of
Well, I got
course,
oregano taking
even
over
with
one of
my
my gardens.
medical, even with my medical background, do not listen to anything I say in this herbal apothecary. You do all of your own research.
Buy a book,
As
figure
always.
it out.
Yes, I just
It
saw a
won't
really
kill
good
you.
one.
It won't kill you, but it may not heal you.
Yeah. Well, food was the first medicine. That's
Yep.
all I'm going to say. That's a quote. I'm going to quote. Food was the first medicine. So, if there's something
Right.
going on, go to your doctor, consult him, and change your diet.
Uh-oh. Dave's neighbors' workers picked them. You better get them while you can before they're not here anymore. And I'm not talking to pickles. All right. We're going to stay off those topics. All right.
Not on this channel.
Tools.
Tools. Yes.
All right. You
nice
play with
canning
that for a
set. Those
second,
are about.
Tammy. I gotta go shut my dog up. I'll be right back.
Okay. So you don't even need all of those. You need the funnel and you need the jar lifter. Nobody uses the tightener anymore. Very few people use the tongs. Once you get used to canning jars, you can tell just by looking where the headspace is. If you're new, yep, the headspace thing is great. And since we don't even boil our lids anymore, you don't need the little magnet to pull them up out of the hot water. So really, if you just wanted to get a wide mouth funnel and a jar lifter, those are the only two things out of that set you need.
So if you're water bathing, don't you still need to like at least sanitize? I love the word sterilize, but don't you need to sanitize your lids because they were in a factory? I mean, they're coming out of a machine that's not exactly sterile.
What the big manufacturers say is if you are not processing them for 10 minutes. So say you were doing jelly, then yes, you would need to sanitize them because you're only processing it for like 5 minutes, or pickles you might only do for 5 minutes. But if you're doing it for 10 minutes or more, you do not have to sanitize them anymore. It gets sanitized in the process of water bathing it.
Okay.
Or pressure canning it.
I mean, I still take, after I sanitize my jars into boiling water, I'll take one of those jars and dump it into a dish and throw my lids in there just because it won't hurt the lids if you throw them in hot water. If anything, it'll soften up the seal a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah. So you can. It's up to you. But unless you're doing it for 10 minutes, they say you don't have to anymore. So.
I like how they stay. I don't know if you've seen those videos of people canning that probably shouldn't be canning. They use the jar lifter the way the one is not on the picture on the box, but the one that's standing there. They use the round roller handle parts to grab the jar. Have you ever seen those?
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, are you people that dumb? But okay, yes, some people didn't really read the directions.
Yes.
What is that green tool in there? It looks like, is that for tightening the lids or loosening the lids?
Yeah, tightening the lids. The jar tightener lid, the rings.
The rings.
We don't really.
That's it,
yeah, we don't really do that anymore.
Nope. So. Just make sure your rings are clean and in good shape and don't have rust and corrosion on them, because that'll mess up your finger tight or 3-finger tight or whatever tight you want to call it these days.
I mean, if you're blowing a lot of lids off in your canner, you probably need new rings. Those threads are only good for a certain number of times, and then they start to loosen up, and then they won't keep the lid on. So yeah, they're not good forever.
Hey, Roberta.
Hey, hi, Roberta. Good to see you. We're just going over things you need to set up your canning kitchen. So I touched on it, but I'll touch on it again with the tools. You need a bath towel or something to set it on. Of course, you need jars and lids, and depending on what style, you might need the gaskets.
Yeah, you know that picture on the left is mine, right?
Yes.
Those are my pickles in my grandma's jars with brand new rubbers I bought from, I forget where, one of the it wasn't Lehman's, it was one of the other ones, but they had them in stock. I bought a ton of them, but I will only water bath those jars. I know how to tighten the bales on them and stuff. Yep. Get them just right. I got pretty good at that. Yeah. Everybody uses the one in the middle. And then some of the rebels out there use the ones on the right. If it's just like a jar from you bought at the store with something else in it, and you're going to reuse it, there you go.
Well, and the lug lids like that. That's what some countries. That's all they can get, even new.
Right.
That's all they can get. So I mean,
those are European jars.
Did I go out again?
No, you're still there. A little sketchy, but you're still there.
Oh, okay. I'm up down to 1 again. I don't know why it's going in.
Oh, that's better.
I haven't.
Maybe your car is like a built-in Faraday cage.
Maybe. My luck. My luck.
Right. All right.
But yeah.
I forget what
so that's. Go ahead.
I forget what the next slide is. It might be one of my. I think that was about it. Yep. That was one. I made that for Tammy way back in the day for Rebel Canners page. A lot of Star Wars memes and things, and yeah, I didn't put the one up that says the canning force is strong with you, Rebel Canner, because we're just canners here. We're not doing the Rebel thing too much. We're just talking about basics, and you don't want to start in the advanced level. You want to start at the bottom.
That's right. You don't rebel until you've conquered the basics, and again. Rebels still don't break all the rules. We still can for the appropriate time, and we still try to use the appropriate method. And if you don't know the difference, don't can it.
It's just sometimes the foods we like to can aren't necessarily in the FDA guidebook of what you can and can't can or shouldn't can or whatever their thing is. I think I know what the next slide is here. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's not. Oh, look, potatoes. Those are mine.
Oh, yes, potatoes. I'm never canning potatoes again.
That was 2017. The jars on the right actually have corned beef in them. And I got yelled at for that on another page. They're still downstairs. They're 6 years old. Might open one just to see, but when I started canning, I just went over the top and started canning anything and everything I could find on sale. I know I made dinner in a jar. Richard, he's still listening. He loved that. It was like a slab of meat. It was pot roast, like a 4-ounce chunk and like 2 chunks of potatoes, a couple pieces of carrots, a couple pieces of onion, and broth. And I think some pepper or maybe a little salt, whatever. And I browned the meat in the cast iron pan before I put it in a jar to give it that good flavor instead of just putting it in raw. So I still got a couple of those downstairs, Richard, but they're also 6 years old. They're probably still fine. It's just, here he is, and I eat it all. He does. He eats anything I give him.
Right. It's time to cycle that out and make some more. So,
Yeah, that's Richard and I are going to do most kids have campovers. When you get older, you have cookovers. So we're going to have a cookover. He's going to spend 3 days at my house here, and we're going to be making at least French onion soup, a lot of it, and canning it.
Ooh.
And because I'll go out and buy, 50 pounds of onions, and we'll just sit there and cry for a day cutting onions up. And whatever wine I need.
Time of year.
Oh, yeah. The wine and the thyme, THYME, and salt and pepper and everything else we need and all the jars. We'll get it all set up and start doing the onions and weighing out how much onions go in each jar and then just fill them up with homemade beef broth. We'll probably do that the first night is make the beef broth or bone broth. French onion soup with bone broth is awesome.
Yes, it is. And you can do so much with it. You can eat it as soup, which is great. But then, if you're cooking like a roast in the crock pot, so good on that.
That's what Richard does. My wife does. She's like, go grab me 2 jars of French onion soup. And she throws, a 6-pound roast in the crock pot and dumps in 2 jars of French onion soup and shuts the lid because it's all flavored up and ready to go. She doesn't have to do anything.
Nope.
And later we throw some potatoes and carrots and stuff in there and got a pot roast dinner. Good to go. crock potting. All right. And oh, there we go. There's my last one. Yeah, no, not the dreaded rings on, rings off debate again. Yeah, that's always a fun one. And when my wife gets mad at me, I tighten all the jar lids so she has to talk to me.
Oh, that was loud. Oh no, he's gonna just go over there.
So does anybody have any questions about just, I mean, I think everybody that's on here is pretty much doing stuff except for Richard, but I got Richard. We're gonna work on him and get him canning.
I think the only thing we're missing off this list is just some basic tools you want. Pot holders, spoons, wooden spoons to stir. I love my wooden spoons I got at the summit. Oh my goodness. I got to get that guy's business card out and put it on my channel.
Yeah, I got two spoons out in my truck still right now. I got to bring them in.
But yeah, a cutting board, knives. That's about it. You don't need much for an outdoor in your outdoor kitchen. It can be stocked, a few measuring cups, measuring spoons, and that's it. Yeah, that'd be it. I have a little tote I put my outdoor kitchen in when I go camping, and it has my water bath canner. I always have 9 jars of water because that's what fits in my canner in there, and then I can use that water to can, or when I open my jars, my jars are clean. I always keep a quart of sugar, because about 4 cups if I go out and I need a recipe. Generally, if I'm making jam, 4 cups will make it a batch of jam. Or like today I only needed 2, but you have at least enough. So when I go camping, I have it all set up to go and ready.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the need to can when I'm camping yet. Although when I start getting more stuff growing out at the cabin, yeah, I'll have my 2-burner Camp Chef out there, and I'll leave one of my pressure canners out there and a whole lot of jars.
I always find something to forage to can, whether it's something I can make into jam. I've made applesauce from crab apples. Sometimes it's been greens. Right now, I've been on a tincture thing. This week I've made elderflower honey, elderflower tincture, stinging nettle tincture, yarrow tincture, and mullein oil for earaches. So I've made 5 different things just from foraging just this week.
Yeah, hey, Angels Homestead has a question. Says, I've got 2 packs of lamb bones, 3 packs of beef bones, pint-sized freezer bags, I guess. How long do you water bath bone broth?
In quarts, yeah. Yep.
Just make sure it's a rolling boil. There's water above the jars the whole time. Don't walk away. Keep a pot of water on the stove next to it boiling. So as the level steams off and goes down, you can add boiling water, and you're not waiting for it to come back to a boil and restarting your time. Yep. It's not complicated. You just can't walk away from it and say, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just set a timer and come back later. But 3 hours is the standard on pretty much anything water bathing, according to the old ways.
Anything that has meat. Yes.
Yeah. Well, low acid.
Low acid. Anything low acid. Yep. 3 hours. And yeah, if it's really a full jar, like packed with meat, you might do 4.
Yeah, you can't hurt it. You just need to make sure you keep the temperature at 212 or whatever that's the thing. If you're at a higher altitude, if you're in like Denver, water boils at 180. So you got a temperature thing going there. I don't know. I guess the time would be significantly longer, or you'd need to steam can it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Dave Knight, I would like a lesson on how to do that, because it is getting pretty expensive making my tinctures.
What's that? Make your own moonshine?
Yeah, I'm on the second big, huge bottle of 80 proof this year. So.
Well, then how much is a bottle of 80 proof freaking Ricoloff or whatever crappy vodka you can get? Like $14, $16.
I bought the last 2 for me. So
Oh, okay. They're not that bad, but still.
it's a thing. Like in my religion, alcohol is totally prohibited. So like when
Mhm.
I buy, no, I'm not buying a drink. I have a problem with buying it. If that makes this any sense,
Yeah,
it's
it
really
makes
hard.
sense.
So a lot of times Becca will pick it up for me, kind of bypass that whole oddity of it for me. So
I can see Tammy outside the liquor store waiting for the old guy to walk in, going, "Hey, buddy, can you get me two 175 bottles of vodka?" And he'd be like, "Sweetie, I think you're old enough to buy your own."
yeah, yeah. So
It'll be
yeah,
fun to watch.
she buys it for my too and stuff. So then I share it with her. I'm sharing her the tinctures. My child being a total.
And we're on mute. And he's saying something.
I know. Can you come sit down in here? It's like Grand Central Station here. I thought it'd be a quiet place to sit and do something, and it's not. It's like I am surrounded by people in the middle of nowhere in a usually quiet cemetery. Uh,
Alrighty.
so
Well, we can cut off now. I mean,
I,
this
I think I'm
for Tammy
too.
right now. This is more of a let's see what we can get done here on
Yeah,
live streams with my help and her help, and together we'll figure something out. And next week we'll
and
probably have something a little longer ready for you.
I'll get internet at my property when I get electric. So now I have to drive somewhere to have internet because I don't have service at my property. And so, yeah, it's just difficult. So I am going to go ahead and sign out here at half an hour. Thank you all for coming. And we will get these longer as we get a little more practice and I get things set up. Having to suddenly move, and I wasn't ready. I wanted to wait till I got electric out of the property, but it didn't happen. So we'll just get things done and get things moved. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Goodbye.
All right. Thanks, Tammy. Bye, everybody.